Hello Leo, Happy New Year. I hope that this video finds you in really great spirits. I'm looking forward to seeing what January 2018 holds in store for you. So without much delay here, I'd like to get started. I am going back to my normal format for all signs this month, so I hope you enjoy all 12 videos. Feel free to watch them if you would like to look at your rising sun and moon. They apply for all of those. So let's talk about you. As I was meditating on your sign, I had an image of like running and then taking a deep breath, and I felt invigorated. So the channeled information is this is going to be your chance to get a second wind, or you could even see it as a second chance or feeling invigorated. Now, usually something like this happens after a period of exhaustion or during a time where you feel like, I don't know how I'm going to make it to the next thing, and then something happens that either makes you have the resolve, the energy to do that, or you just see the way. So this second wind is, of course, it's figurative, it's a metaphor, but you may actually feel this invigoration of energy as well during January. So I would definitely try to meditate more than you usually do and see if you can tap into that energy and really focus on not giving up. Think of what an athlete would do in training. Somehow, I don't even understand how the psychology or the biology works. I used to do sprinting when I was a kid, but I know that at a certain point, you could get extra energy. Just you tapped into something that was beyond you. So my encouragement for you now, this month, is to try to go beyond what your body is telling you. Go to what your heart, your soul, your third eye, and your higher self wants to tell you. And you can tap into energy that's beyond what makes sense. Okay, so there's something this month that you can use to propel you a little bit further than you think. Okay, that being said, let's go ahead and give the cards a shuffle, and I'll kind of describe how I organize my reading in case you're new. Basically, every month I like to start off with that channeled information, then I do a Celtic cross, and I have a few extra cards that I like to pull in addition to that. The Celtic cross gives me a really nice feeling for the month, but then I pull a catalyst card, which will tie this together, and then also cards for health, wealth, love, and destiny. Okay, so I'm going to pause now and just take in what I'm looking at, and then we will talk after I've pulled all the cards. All right, let's look at this catalyst card. So as we look here at your catalyst card, it is a card that symbolizes transformation, metamorphosis, and also freedom. And it's interesting, and I want to keep the camera sort of down for a second here, because on the other side here, when we're looking at hopes and fears, we have the reverse of this sort of freedom card, which is this card of being tethered. And this is probably one of the best illustrated devil cards that I've seen, because it's not about some imaginary figure behind you. The devil is what you create, what you imagine in this world. So this card, when it's reversed, is about wanting to step away, starting to reveal the things in your life that are creating a sense of entrapment. This card is about the liberation that will come afterwards. And if you kind of put all of these things together, this idea of getting a second wind, a second chance, or feeling invigorated after you finally let go of something. This can be a card of addiction, of finding out something that was hidden from you. It usually is relating to the shadow side of humanity. So once you go into either your shadow, someone else's shadow, or whatever it is that's creating this, then suddenly the healing can take place and you are freed from whatever it is that's been holding you down or making you afraid or bringing your frequency lower. So not only will you get a chance to sort of feel invigorated this month, but you can also be on an entirely different trajectory in 2018. And so this is a year of change, something that I've been seeing in a lot of readings this month. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the cards. So far, I'm excited and encouraged by what I'm looking at here. So at your center point, we have, it's interesting that we have butterfly and attached to the 9 of swords. Sometimes this card can come up when you're a performer or you're someone that might have anxiety about talking in front of large groups, like stage fright. It can be a card of butterflies in your stomach. When I see this card here, which is, like I said, a catalyst that ties these together, it tempers this card, and it's saying, don't let your fears get the better of you. And when I look at the neutral card, which is on top of it, it's speaking to the hard work that you've already done. And this is a card of mastery. So this is fear in the face of mastery. And butterflies that could actually kind of like, if you use it in the right way, you could perform better. That's what you have to do this month, whatever your fear is, whether it's being seen for who you are, because this is a card of surprising people, showing them a side of you that they didn't see originally. Because this is what it's symbolizing. You after it goes through chrysalis, it comes out differently. So there might be a part of your, like a hidden talent, or for some people this can be a literal or a metaphorical coming out. Whatever it is that you want to share or become, this card is saying it's at your fingertips, but you have to want it. You have to want it more than the safety of hiding behind your fears. And that's something that it's all about timing, but the timing's going to open up in January. You get one window. But this is important because windows only open, once every few years or once in a lifetime. So if there's something that you really want and you get a chance to do it this month, I would say go after it. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the cards and see what else is coming through for you. As we look at your deep past, it looks like you've gone through a period of soul searching, or there's been a lot of options or a lot of distractions going on, and I feel like you're set up now in January to start to tune that out or start to concentrate more. So if you haven't already come to that point, at a certain juncture in January, you're going to have to stop daydreaming, or you're going to have to stop exploring and decide where you want to focus your attention. It's always good to consider options, but you can get lost in the sea of options. The reversal of this card is actually quite good. Once you've decided what you want, then it's going to be much easier for you to pull that in and focus on it. What I also see for you is probably cutting out some cycles. When we look at the Eight of Cups and the Devil card, both reverse, this is about letting go of an old relationship in your life, an old habit, a relationship with a way of being. So again, this could have to do with someone in your life who comes in, comes out, but you've never quite stuck together. At this point, you realize maybe you want something more, or maybe you're tired of that cycle. Or it can be the two of these cards together can speak to letting go of an addiction to alcohol, to cigarettes, to drugs, to sex, to other things, because this is attached to all of those. And this is about breaking a cycle. The other thing that I will mention here, that this is a card of second chances, but the reversal of this means that this is sort of the ninth life of the second chances. So I will kind of underscore what I said earlier, which is this is a big, important month where you're either going to stop something that you have been trying to stop for a long time, you can execute on something that you've been trying to accomplish, or something surprising happens and it opens up a new, unexpected avenue. All of these things are punctuated by the fact that they're probably not going to keep happening. So really take advantage of it. Over the course of the month, as we saw with that Nine of Swords right at the center here, you're going to have doubts and fears that may pop up, maybe in dreams, maybe in momentary thoughts, maybe from your environment, from people around you. When I look at your environment card, it actually speaks to you trying to stay calm, stay collected. And this card is about not focusing on what has been lost or where you haven't been able to create traction. It's about also mourning the loss of a change. For any of you that have had the guts to quit a job, to quit some sort of an addiction in your life, or to try to overcome it, you do have to mourn how the loss of what you were before. So the whole reason we get addicted to certain things, whether it's a person or a drug or whatever, is because it felt good. And so as you decide to say goodbye to whatever that was, you're going to let go of something that made you feel good, but you're going to make room for something new. When it's a job, when it's even a place that you've lived or whatever, it's hard, because you create attachments. So the single biggest opportunity for you this month is to release attachments and allow new things to take flight. All right, let's look at the rest of the cards here. One thing that you want to focus on so that you can basically sustain your momentum and your vitality this month is to really focus on your physical well-being. You may have to, if you aren't doing some sort of a physical fitness routine right now, it's really important to do that. The strength card is showing, especially when it's reversed, that you may not be working out as much as you could, or if you start working out more, you could actually find that that second wind, that feeling of endorphins that could come through your body. So exercise is going to be key, especially as we see it here in the environment. It's right underneath it. This is going to help you get rid of your stress, get rid of your fears, and also gain some insight or some perspective on what's going on. We already talked at length about the hopes and fears this month. It's about releasing that which tethers you, whatever that is in your life. And the biggest outcome card here, and the biggest sort of thing you want to focus on, is feelings of self-worth. And also, we were talking about attachments. Whenever I see the King or the Queen of Pentacles, they are very focused on the material, what's in front of them, very practical sort of things. And one thing that Butterfly is representing for me is the spiritual. And so there is a need to sort of let go of some of the feeling of, if I can't see it, it isn't here, and start to believe and start to explore the spiritual. So for those of you that want to kind of go further in meditation and in spiritual development, that's definitely at your fingertips. I will note that the Queen of Pentacles is attached to the Devil card. So you want to be really careful with how you're spending your money this month, or in who you decide to share your financial information with, or share like a credit card or a debit card with. You want to be very careful in those sorts of things. But other than that, I'm not seeing a lot of information about loss or anything. It's just make sure you trust people and make sure that you know everything that you need to know about any sort of contracts or obligations surrounding money. All right, so one last card that I want to cover. In your near future, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. This is also about stepping away from trying to prove that you're right. So sometimes we have opportunities to help someone, they may not listen, and you want to sometimes say later, if you'd only listened, I told you so. I want you to avoid the I told you so this month, because just trust that your friends, your family, whoever you've given the advice, they're smart enough to know and to reflect upon that. And even if they aren't there and they're not ready to sort of do that, you bringing it up, all it's going to do is sort of exacerbate the situation. The other part of this card, if that doesn't apply to you, is to not second guess yourself. I talked about the spiritual component this month. This is really speaking to your intuition. Listen to it, and try not to only focus on, but it doesn't make sense, I don't understand it. If you feel a certain way about whatever's in front of you, whether it's business, relationship, health, it's really important to follow that. Some of the best business minds have they call it their gut, but it's really their good third eye. And on some levels, maybe the gut because they know how to manage relationships. But I want you to listen to that inner voice. It's going to steer you in the right direction. Okay, let's now expand your forecast, and we'll begin with health. Health is an all-inclusive card which touches upon your mind, your body, and your spirit. But let's go ahead and see what this card has to say. The power of positivity cannot be underestimated. I really want you to focus on what is possible. It's good to deal with whatever it is that is causing friction in your life. You actually want to deal with that head on. And this is not an instance of just being like Pollyanna. This is about once you've been able to overcome that, or once you're ready to stare it in the face, then to think, I can do this. And whatever it is that you're trying to overcome, particularly if it's an addiction or rehabilitation, if there's been some sort of an injury or an accident, believe that you can go further than expected. And that's something that even healthcare professionals, they can't always predict the odds. A lot of it is your spirit that can overcome things. So surprise yourself, surprise others, just like an athlete can do, and go beyond the expected and see where that takes you. All right, let's take a look now at your wealth card. Wealth includes decisions and also emotions surrounding money. All right, so your wealth card this month has to do about doing something that you really feel passion for. The libido card is exactly what it says. You have to feel it to do it. And if you really feel excited about and passion for something, then really the world's your oyster and you're unstoppable. But if you're not feeling it, and that's what I'm getting a sense for this month, you have to turn that around, or you have to find things about your present situation that do make you feel excited or optimistic about the future. Because that's really what, if you put the two together, it's how can I inspire myself? How can I feel more invested in my present situation? If If you do those two things, your money situation will improve. Also, people will value you more, but it's all about you believing in yourself and your own potential. If you can't do that, it's very difficult to sell your own brand to somebody else as well. All right, let's take a look at love, which is going to cover all types of relationships. And these cards are more focused on the chakra system, so I'll see if there's a chakra read when I look at this. Okay, so it's interesting. We got commitment for love, which is great. It's reversed, which is showing, as we sort of pair it up with the devil card, that one of the things that's really important for you this month is whoever your partner is, whether it's a lover, a business partner, a best friend, a family member, whatever like your best friend or most intimate partnership is this month, you're going to be tested on the lines of commitment. Do they stay true to their word? Can you trust them, like I said, with a debit card or a check or whatever? If you can't, these are the things you're going to have to resolve this month. And so this isn't about someone new coming in. This is about checking your feelings about commitment. Also, one more thing that I'm seeing with this is that the center is basically all heart chakra colors. It was green. So I want you to listen to your heart. Listen to the way you feel the first time you see or experience something. That's going to be your best read. And that's basically going to be your compass to tell you, should I commit to whatever this is in front of me? Now let's take a look at your destiny card. Destiny, of course, is your GPS. And if you like that direction, then stick with it. And if you don't, this is a chance to shift it around. And we have the voyage card here. The voyage was reversed, which is saying that you're at a point in your journey where you might be ready to course correct, where you might be ready to set sail in a new direction. And that's a great thing if you want to do it. But I will say that because it was reversed, it may be necessary for you to make some changes to get where you want to go. Okay, so let's review everything, hopefully bring it into a really clear focus for you, and then we'll wrap up here. Your channeled information was to really persevere, push past the sort of imaginary boundaries and sometimes even the tangible boundaries that you're feeling. You could surprise yourself. The catalyst card was speaking to the growth, the metamorphosis, and the changes that are possible within this month, and I would also say within 2018. As we look at the cards themselves, there is like I said, mastery in the face of fear, and then trying to use those nerves to push yourself beyond where you think you could go. So just basically channeling the energy differently will be really important. There's a big opportunity to break a cycle. We got 8 of Cups in reverse, which is a cyclical card, and the Devil reverse, which is a card that weighs you down. The breaking of these two is actually going to bring good opportunities, and I would actually say wealth your way. To successfully get through this change, what you really want to do is to basically keep your head on your shoulders. Don't get too high or too low on the emotional scale. Don't second guess yourself. And also don't get caught up in drama, whether it's your own drama or someone else's, or trying to prove who's right or wrong. Don't let that deter you from the main focus this month, which is to strengthen your own sort of sense of self, not just symbolically, but also physically. You want to take care of yourself and to just become healthier in mind and body. This is going to help you also with your not just your self-worth, but your career and your money in the long run, because once you've sort of like addressed these areas of opportunity, then everything can grow. Remember to stay positive this month, and that actually came through as we looked at your health card. So positivity is something that is highly underrated and can really create wonderful changes within health and can make you go further than you thought when you have challenges. You have to feel what you're doing to do so, to basically be successful at what you're doing. So I want you either to find the blessing in what you're doing or to find something else that really inspires you. When it comes to questions of commitment, because it was reversed, you have to trust your heart this month. It's not going to lead you astray. And as we're looking at this card, there might be a need for a course correction, but know that the year ahead is an exciting journey, particularly if we pair up the butterfly and the last card that I pulled, the voyage. This is a year of transformation. And I'm so excited that you get to go through it. And I look forward to seeing how it unravels as we go month to month, okay? So I hope this was helpful for you, but if you ever need more of a personalized approach or reading, then you can feel free to reach out to me. I've opened up a lot of dates in January, and you can check out the link right in the description area below to see rates and availability. I also have a few additional time slots that I didn't before, which could help, and also time lengths, so feel free to take a look at that. If you'd just like to donate to the channel because this has been something that's helped you out, that would be greatly appreciated. And there are a few ways that you can do that, either through Patreon or through my website. So again, you can look at the links below. And finally, if you're on social media, please feel free to add me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also join my newsletter if that's something you'd like. Again, all of that is in the section below. And the most important part of this, I always like to end with a little bit of gratitude. Since we're at a new year, this is a nice clean slate. I just want to continue to encourage you guys to keep working on yourselves, because as I look at these two cards, this is such a great year for you. You're going to be able to move away from some patterns that haven't been serving you and hopefully end up in a place where there's more freedom, there's more opportunity, and you're starting to show your true colors. And that's also what this card is about. That's why we have a peacock here. Be proud of who you are. And a lot of us that are on this spiritual journey, it's weird, it's exciting, and not a lot of people, you talk to about this, but I think it's important that we start to become more visible, and I want to continue to see more people develop their skills as readers, as light workers, as healers. So stay on that path and know that you're doing something really important, if not just for yourself, for the whole planet, okay? Wishing you much love, light, and happiness this year. Take care of yourselves, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.